Hello and welcome to this September 2019 Tarot Forecast video. I'm Poetic Heretic, and tonight I thought I would do something a little bit different, and that is I'm going to film a tarot reading for all 12 signs where we will draw one card for each sign of the zodiac. So how I recommend you use this video is if you happen to know not only your sun sign, but also your moon sign and rising sign, then apply the cards that I draw for those signs to yourself. Those cards do indeed apply. So your sun, your moon, and your rising, if you know them, or if you just know your sun and moon, that's fine, or just your sun. You can also, if you want, pause this video and look up your rising and moon sign if you want. Just search on the internet rising sign calculator or something like that, and there are some websites that can help you out with that. They can do it for free, or just use your sun sign, whatever you want to do. So let me get my cards set up here. Filming this on the evening of August 30th, 9:31 p.m. currently. The day of the new moon, perfect day for starting new things. So alright, let's get this started. We would like a tarot forecast for the month of September 2019 for each and every sign of the zodiac. One card per sign, starting with Aries, ending with Pisces, the typical order of the zodiac. One card for each sign for September 2019. Let's see what we get. What insight, what advice, what information can the universe offer for all 12 signs of the zodiac for September 2019? Let's see, is this it? This is it. Alright. Aries, Seven of Cups reversed. Taurus, the Fool reversed. Gemini, the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Cancer, the Eight of Pentacles. Leo, the Hierophant. Virgo, the Ten of Cups reversed. Libra, the King of Swords. Scorpio, the Nine of Swords. Sagittarius, Justice reversed. Capricorn, the Knight of Wands reversed. Aquarius, the Eight of Cups. And Pisces, the Ten of Pentacles. Alright, let's take a look here. So, beginning with Aries, the Seven of Cups reversed. You got the Seven of Cups, and it is reversed for the month of September 2019. Let's see, can I hold it up to the camera? Will that work? There you go. Okay. Anyway, I just like showing the cards sometimes. So, Seven of Cups reversed in a positive sense is often an indicator of regaining mental clarity, coming to one's senses, no longer being caught up in sort of like delusions and stuff like that. So, pretty much what it's saying to you is that in the month of September, you're likely to find a lot more clarity. You're likely to shatter illusions. If you have been confused, as the upright meaning of the card often indicates, or feeling overwhelmed with too many options, too many choices, you can expect some much needed clarity to come your way. Now, sometimes when this card is reversed, or perhaps even when it's upright, it can talk about the risk of getting a little too caught up in illusions and stuff like that, and so it might be sort of pushing you towards mental clarity. At least that's how I interpret it. So if there's any kind of like warning or advice that would be pushing you in the direction of thinking logically this month and not allowing yourself to get overly caught up in illusions or things that sort of rob you of your logical thinking. So that's what we have there for Aries. For Taurus, you have the Fool reversed. So this could have you feeling rather heavy, weighed down, a lot of responsibilities, a lot of obstacles to your freedom. And with it being the Fool and reversed, it may even be that you want to be like this card upright. You want to sort of start out on a new adventure, like go for something that you've never done before, or get out of your current routine. You may want to really start following your bliss, but with the reversal, you're feeling weighed down by things. You're feeling like you can't do it, or you're afraid to do it. There are things stopping you from doing it. So generally speaking, at least the way I've always read these cards, when I see a reversal, particularly with a major arcana, I think, oh, this is the card telling me, or telling whoever I'm doing the reading for, to try to unblock that energy. In other words, try to be more like the Fool upright. Try to overcome those obstacles and really follow whatever it is that means freedom for you. Allow yourself to break out of the situation. If there's a message for you for September 2019, that would be it, is be more like the Fool upright. Here, let's just show that on camera a little bit more. Sorry, it's mirrored on the screen as I'm watching this, as I'm filming, so if I seem to move it in some weird way, that's why. Because when I move it left, it moves right, and vice versa. Yeah, there you go. The Fool card. Very beautiful card. I think I once read about this card. It's almost impossible to look at it and feel depressed or feel bad. Like if you're feeling down, just looking at this card, just staring at it for a bit, will help you feel uplifted. And that might even help you to unblock the energy of the Fool reversed for all of you Taurian people out there in the month of September 2019. So there you go. Break free and find your freedom. That is it, basically. So for Gemini, you got the Queen of Pentacles reversed. So whenever I see this card reversed, I think of the idea of desiring safety and security, especially in many cases financial security, but it can also just be security in general. And the second thing that I think of that's also very key with this card is being too busy with work, having too many work-related or financial responsibilities, not having enough time to rest, not having the proper work-life balance, or work versus play balance, or work and rest balance, that sort of thing. So I would say the primary message here is to not overwork yourself, dear Gemini, in the month of September 2019. If you can help it. At least I understand everyone has their unique situation and unique challenges, but if you can help it, try to give yourself more rest. And it's also again, a desire for safety and security. And so anything you can do that helps yourself feel more safe and secure will also be to your benefit in September of 2019. For Cancer, you have the Eight of Pentacles. You are working away productively at something that is interesting to you, that is potentially lucrative, that is probably exciting to you in September 2019. This is the card of an apprentice. This is the card of good work opportunities, of even in some cases, I would say a sort of renewal of one's work life. And if there's any like advice to it in this context, I would say it's telling you, hey, just keep working away at what interests you. And if there isn't any work that currently interests you, try to find some. And that is the best path for you. That is your path, your ideal path for September 2019. For Leo, you got the Hierophant card. Very interesting card. So, and it can mean a number of different things. So let me think of where to even dive into it here, where to start. This card talks a lot about belief systems, exploring different belief systems, and sometimes even like exploring the mysteries of the universe, exploring deep knowledge and stuff like that. But probably its primary message is this idea of getting involved in a sort of group, like an official group. Sorry, this mirroring is messing with my head as I'm watching on screen, but I'll try to get used to it. The Hierophant has a religious connotation, and so when I say group, think of how those in a religious body, like a church group or whatever, are indeed part of an official group. It's the idea of being part of something more than just yourself, if that makes sense. The idea of being part of something that is bigger than you. So that's a key factor here for many of you Leos out there. It also talks about order and structure and stability. This is a Taurian card. It's ruled by the energy of Taurus, very practical, hardworking, steady, logical, consistent. And then, well, interestingly enough, it's card 5 of the major arcana, which corresponds to the 5th house, which corresponds to your sign of Leo. And the 5th house is all about love and fun and romance and sex, and I think it can also be about teaching and children. The 5th house is all about the fun that we have. It's pretty much the energy of the sign of Leo, more or less. That which is sort of on that frequency or whatever. So, yeah, a few different things there with the Hierophant card to consider, but take which ones resonate most strongly with you. For Virgo, it is Virgo season for most of September. So if it's your birthday, happy birthday, Virgo. You got the 10 of Cups reversed. So we like this card a lot better when it's upright because it talks about great happiness and fulfillment and achievement, especially of an emotional nature with being cups, water, emotion. When it's reversed, there's different theories about this card, and I've sort of, I entertain two viewpoints. I entertain both of two main viewpoints, which is one, that this card is so positive that even in its reversal, it is still largely positive, and just that the energy is somewhat blocked, like you might have great success or great fulfillment or great joy, but it's incomplete in some way. The much more pessimistic viewpoint is that it's going to talk about great sadness and ruin, rather than having like a nice stable relationship, stable family and success and whatnot, like it talks about when it's upright. In the reversal, it's going to be like, oh no, the loss of things like that, no more peace and things of that nature. So I would say watch out for that in the month of September, but it's not a card that spells out like the end of the world either, though. Maybe try to shore up your sense of stability in September. Try to not let yourself be disappointed if things don't quite go the way that you want, or if you almost reach success or a great emotional fulfillment but don't quite reach it yet. It's not like all hope is lost. So 10 of Cups reversed for Virgo. For Libra, you have the King of Swords. This card's primary message is to think logically, think rationally, think with the left brain, think using facts and reasoning, think scientifically, try to maintain your mental clarity, don't allow too much subjectivity, or perhaps even really any subjectivity, to cloud your mind. The King of Swords is representing an air sign, the energy of air, like you, Libra. And air is all about the mind and mental activity, thus mental clarity, logical thinking, things of this nature. So that's his primary message to you. Interestingly enough, with it being a court card, you could also be looking at an adult male air sign. That would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius in your life, who is playing a significant role in your life in some way in the month of September 2019. Now, I say that may be the case. Sometimes when I say this, people think that that's supposed to mean it's definitely going to be the case for all Libras out there. That's not the case. It's simply saying that there's a higher probability of that kind of energy manifesting for Libran people out there. And which actually, I apologize, I should have mentioned this earlier, for Gemini with the Queen of Pentacles reversed. That's also a court card, indicating for Geminis an adult female earth sign, that's Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, who may play a significant role in your life for September. And with the reversal, maybe someone who is feeling not quite themselves, or like they need security or something like that, but not necessarily. And so one of the things I mentioned with that. Oh, just that since this is a general reading, you could even say that in some cases it's not necessarily even going to be definitely male or female, depending on which court card we get. But there seems to be some level of debate on that. So anyway, for Scorpio, you got the Nine of Swords. You may be worried about some things in September. Some things may be keeping you up late at night, as the imagery of the card suggests. So, one aspect of this card, though, that is very significant and that I've sort of become more and more familiar with the longer that I've studied tarot, is that this isn't just saying, oh, you might be worried about some things. This card is saying you are likely going through a sort of, I don't want to say the word transformation, because everything's like a process of transformation, but for lack of a better word, a deep inner transformation as a result of challenges that you're currently facing. Challenges that may indeed be keeping you up at night, or that you're at the very least very worried about, having to face trauma, having to face negative beliefs, things of this nature, or even just external things that are currently happening to you that are facilitating or pushing you into a sort of awakening or transformation, again, to sort of overuse that word. But so if you can look at it that way, then in many ways it's like more of a positive thing. However, it can also indicate, on that note, going right along with that, the idea of a spiritual awakening in general. That's something I feel like is not talked about with this card very often, but I've seen it multiple times, is that it's not just like, oh, you're going to be worried about things. It's implying something deeper, like, oh, there's an awakening happening. There's a transformation, an inner perhaps cleansing or purification happening. So, yeah, maybe a little rough, but it's like at the end of the day, it's well worth it. I hope I'm explaining this stuff correctly, or well enough for people. I'm doing the best I can here. All right, Sagittarius, you got Justice reversed. So, in the month of September 2019, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. Things might be a little unfair at times. This is Justice reversed, after all. A little unfair, a little unjust. There's also the risk of not seeing things clearly, of a lack of objectivity or needed objectivity. We could almost say, like what we were saying earlier about the King of Swords card when that came up, that, the reversal of this card is, it's like, look at it upright, and it's advising you to think more logically, more objectively, try to find more mental clarity, stuff like that. Not exactly good news if you're involved in any legal battles. Maybe you could postpone legal battles until after the month of September, if that's the case. Obviously, that's going to depend on your unique situation. But yes, a bit of a rough card, Justice reversed for September, but hey, it's not the end of the world. There are far worse cards in the deck. So, for Capricorn, you got the Knight of Wands reversed. So, this could have you feeling rather exhausted in the month of September. It could have you feeling uninspired. It could have you feeling like you're not as able to put yourself out there and assert yourself as well as you usually can. With it being a court card, the Knight of Wands, it could indicate an adult male fire sign that is Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, who is significant in your life this month, in September. And it may be even one who is feeling a bit under the weather, or a bit not quite on their game with the reversal of this card. So, again, no, that's a maybe. That's not saying you're definitely going to have an adult male fire sign in your life this month, but it may manifest in that way. So, yes, unfortunately, you may be feeling a bit tired. However, there's one more message with the Knights, and it's, I guess, kind of particularly more with the upright Knights, but I think it even applies with the reversal, is that Knights are about extremes. So if you feel like you have been applying yourself way too much, like putting forth way too much energy, asserting yourself way too much, taking way too much action, exhausting yourself, then the message here is to rest, to calm down, to cease doing that so much. But if you feel like you've been maybe in a bit of a rut, or feeling unmotivated, uninspired, like you don't want to do too much, like the energy is just not really moving or flowing, then the message is to push yourself, to take some kind of action to get the energy moving again. Remember, this is the Knight of Wands. Wands are fire. Fire talks about action and willpower and things of that nature. So take whichever side of that spectrum applies to you and sort of rebalance your energy. For Aquarius, you got the Eight of Cups for September. So the Eight of Cups is about moving away from a difficult situation because you have comprehended or discovered or figured out what is right for you. You know, you've comprehended what is right for you emotionally and creatively. You're taking the more difficult but right path as opposed to the easier but wrong path. You're doing what has to be done. You're leaving something behind to pursue something greater, some greater truth or greater way of life. This could even be like leaving emotional hurts behind that are not easy to let go of for whatever reason, but that need to be let go of, and a new life pursued, essentially. A new, perhaps more spiritual life, I think is often the case with the Eight of Cups card here. So that's the message for September of 2019 for Aquarius out there, is be willing to leave behind the hurts of the past, or what is no longer working, or what other people may be trying to push you into, but that you know is not right for yourself. Again, comprehending what is right for you emotionally and creatively. So, a bit of a, what's the word? A bit of a sort of intense, almost sad or melancholy card, but ultimately for one's benefit. Alright, and finally, Pisces. You got the Ten of Pentacles. Well, congratulations, Pisces. You got one of the best cards in the deck. You should expect to see great success, particularly around work and or money, but can also just be success in general, in the month of September. You can expect to see manifestations of your desires, happiness, fulfillment. You know, this is the card of, how do I even put this? It's the final card of the Pentacles suit, and so it's like the grand conclusion of that energy. It is the celebration of having lived a fulfilled life and continuing to live a fulfilled life. So look for, again, manifestations of your desires. Look for success around money, or at the very least happiness with your situation, and more success in the area of career. It's a 10, that's the 10th house, that's the house of career. So great news for all Pisces people out there in September 2019. Okay, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I've never done a reading quite like this one before, so I apologize if it seemed a little disjointed at times, but that's what we have. And yeah, this was kind of an experiment for me, but I think it went well. I don't know. I liked it. I hope you like it. And I do indeed plan to be back soon with more videos, including more tarot videos, so you can look forward to those. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this, and have a great month of September 2019. And also, I just remembered, all you Libran people out there, you thought I forgot, if it's your birthday this month, happy birthday to you as well. I nearly forgot that, but I don't want to forget that. So, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Have a magnificent September 2019 to everyone of every sign out there in the world. Bye for now.